to a power dynamic that exists in their particular society.
The theory here is that the beauty industry views being white as being better, and we need to decolonize what we view as attractive, that everything we've decided is fashionable, beautiful, normal, right is Eurocentric. And I won't deny there are some aspects of this which have existed through history and at time overseas. However, today, especially in the Western world, I really think it is completely unhelpful to observe beauty standards from the perspective of a specific ethnic-only insecurity, as it misses the broader picture which unites us all. The fact that every ethnic group struggle with the exact same problem when it comes to beauty, the lure of unobtainium. We all desire what we cannot have, or what we were not born with. In almost every poll I could find, the vast majority of women were unhappy with their appearance. One poll boasted 97%. And if I had to take a guess, I don't think the 3% of people feeling great about their bodies contained all the white people in that poll. We all have innate things we wish we could change. Even on a personal level, I'll admit, my natural hair is super wavy. It's like a lion's mane. Would have been great to have in the 80s, not so much today. I straighten the living crap out of it. And while hair straightening may not be a great example of rejecting Eurocentric beauty standards, there are absolutely instances where white people also desire and pursue the traits of other ethnicities. And to see this, all you have to do is observe some of the most popular cosmetic procedures to date. Firstly, lip augmentation is up 43% since the year 2000, and that stat is from an article in 2016. Lord knows it has gone up since then. I honestly can't say I know a girl who hasn't done it, dabbled in it, or at least thought about it before. Moving on. Another increasingly popular surgery is the Brazilian butt lift, which people are literally dying to get. Legit, 1 in 3,000 people die when getting this surgery, making it the world's most dangerous cosmetic procedure. And lastly, tanning salons and particularly self-tanning products are anticipated to grow around 6.3% in the next 7 years. And I'm sure you've noticed now a commonality between these last 3 booming industries. None of them are about enhancing white traits. Large butts, big lips, and certainly dark skin are the opposite of Eurocentric beauty, and yet they are undoubtedly the most popular beauty trends today within the Western world. Funny enough, massive celebrities embracing more ethnic beauty standards like darker skin, bigger lips, and braided hair are actually on notice at the moment for allegedly blackfishing. Ariana Grande used to look like a pretty normal white girl 10 years ago, and now is rather ethnically ambiguous. Other stars on blast include Rita Ora, Selena Gomez, Iggy Azalea, and Kylie Jenner, plus pretty much all of her siblings, which is brought about this really confusing conundrum because our media have this one side where they're complaining about how the beauty industry and their standards are Eurocentric, as we've seen from Bloomberg, while also, on the other hand, shaming people for embracing non-European beauty. And this has really put women in an impossible spot. The fashion trends today that do reject Eurocentric beauty are cultural appropriation, but then, if they don't embrace them, they're seen as just basic white, ugly, thin-lipped Becky. And I wish I were joking, but mocking people for having thin lips has literally become a meme and an insult, largely on racial grounds. You're a disgusting, mayo white, thin lips, no butt-ass Becky. That is a whole section of the internet, which displays once again another sad universal truth. Human beings will use unattainable appearance goals which they naturally hold that someone else can't achieve to mock others and play on racial insecurities, no matter your ethnicity. You rewind the clock 20 years ago and it was, oh, you have a big butt? You're disgusting and out of fashion.
Do these pants make my butt look big?
Eyelid surgery in Korea to appear more white is insanely popular. Women of color are out here spending $8.6 billion on skin bleaching creams every year. Meanwhile, all the white chicks are out spending billions getting cancer at tanning salons. The beauty industry sucks for all of us. We all go in and out of fashion. We all want what we don't have. And I do not think that beauty industry executives are sitting there saying, yes, let's make these people follow X beauty standards. Let's make it all Eurocentric. Not at all. Because they thrive off us all being insecure. We are all not pale enough. We are all not tan enough. And the algorithm and our search results will let ad agencies know which insecurity to play on more so than another. And you know what? The beauty world isn't even necessarily driven sometimes by actual beauty, but just by being able to augment and change our bodies and being obsessed with appearing so different from our previous insecurities to the point of disturbing and even ugly extremes. There's an entire subreddit dedicated to just botched surgeries, which some people don't even think are botched, just overdone. And you get to this point where there's girls getting lip injections to the degree of absurdity, or breast implants to the point of looking painful. Now, I want to be clear here. I don't think there's anything wrong with trying to be more beautiful. I don't think there's anything wrong with a bit of cosmetic voodoo here and there. I think putting effort into life is wonderful as long as you avoid the extremes. Go get your hair done. Go get a nice outfit. Please, for the love of God, put on deodorant. And if you feel like there's something a little more major that you need to do to feel better, whether it be getting laser or you have bad teeth and you want veneers, do it. But this is an innate human desire and trait of insecurity in all of us. And seeing the media try to make such a nuanced discussion into a race baiting campaign, I think is just So foolish, and misses this primary conversation we could be having about the lure of unobtainium in general. And you know what? The whole thing also points to a media cultural ignorance and desperation to feed the narrative.
Hey guys, welcome to Little Blackbird 91. We're going to give you guys a live talking about beauty standards. You know what? This conversation came up whilst I was in Jamaica. We were talking about whether you can call yourself beautiful without the validation and the verification of those outside of you. So this conversation, that's where it stirred from, right? We was in Jamaica, we was on a bus, and actually at dinner, we had this conversation twice. And a comment came up, said, if I say I'm beautiful, then I am beautiful. And then I replied to the person and said, well, actually, if you say you're beautiful, that's great. But if the world tells you you're not beautiful, then guess what? You're not beautiful. So I wanted to have this conversation today around the topic of obviously beauty standards as well. I wanted to tussle a little bit. I want to have your views as well. I want to hear your perspectives, and I would love to hear different perspectives too if you have that, because that will contribute towards a more wholesome, well-rounded conversation. Let me say it again. This conversation is around the topic of beauty standards and whether you can call yourself beautiful, but if the world doesn't call you that, then are you really beautiful? Okay, and we're having that conversation. All right, so I personally, let me start with my actual belief in the situation. What I believe is this, right? That nobody is one person. No one person is an island. Okay, we know we're beautiful, or we know we're attractive. Let me change the word. We know we're attractive people because the outside world confirms that you're attractive. Okay, all right. Most of us know we are attractive. Okay, most of us know we're attractive because the world has told us so, right? And we know our level because the world has told us so. So I'm asking that question. Can you say you're attractive rather than say, can you say beautiful? Because I think beautiful is quite a broad spectrum. Can you say you're attractive and the world says you're not attractive? Who's right and who's wrong? That's a question I guess we're kind of asking. And then obviously we want to talk a little bit about beauty standards as well, because is beauty standards a necessary evil? Better yet, is beauty standards a part of life, whether you like it or not? Right? Right? Because there's always an argument about beauty standards and how, it's so bad because people can't live up to beauty standards. But, you know, is beauty standards a necessary evil that comes by product of society as human beings? Or is it something that we need to do away with? Questions we're asking today. Like I said, I want to tussle. So I want to hear your perspectives. I've put the link there. I've pinned it so you can actually have a conversation today and jump aboard on the panel and give your perspective as well. We want to hear different views and different points. All right. It's a tussle, but we don't keep it respectful. We don't out here trying to destroy anybody. We want to have a good, fun and good conversation, and that means we want to show each other respect as well while we do it. So if you're new to the channel, do me a massive favor, like it, share, subscribe, click on the bell button for notification of the uploads, and for those of you who are returnees, you already know what it is, baby. You got the minerals. All right, cool. Let's get into this. Let's get into the conversation, baby. Okay, all right. I played that video because I think it was a really good way of breaking down some of the things about beauty standards. I think the first thing I want to say is that when it comes to beauty standards for me personally, right? Of course, it doesn't affect men in the same way as it affects women. Let's keep it a buck straight away. Let's not lie about it. Let's lay some groundwork. First and foremost, beauty standard affects women more than it affects men because of the value that society places on women due to their what? Beauty. Okay, that's why beauty standards has such impact. Beauty standards has such impact because women are valued by what beauty they carry. They are often valued by that rather than their physical work output. Okay, all right. So that then becomes a very sticky point, because if you're valued by your beauty, then beauty standards now becomes a very poignant place a very poignant place to have conversation, because now if the beauty standards don't fit you, or they don't support you, or they are not in your favor, then technically, by definition, you end up losing value. And where do we lose value in? Well, the dating market. That's where you lose it. Not as a human being, not as an individual, not as a a person, but just as in the dating market. In the dating market, your value, all right, gets determined in some aspect by what beauty you carry. That's the first thing that encourages somebody to lean in and say, hey, I want to talk to you and get to know you a bit better and a bit more. Okay, all right. So Miss R and Diva says each one of us has a unique natural beauty that should be celebrated and embraced. Altering our appearance through cosmetic surgery take away from that inherent beauty and uniqueness. Hear that? Lets us embrace what makes us special and resist the pressure to conform to society's narrow beauty standards. Totally hear that as well. Okay, so again, back onto my point, I really do feel like with beauty standards, there are always going to be winners and there are going to be losers. That's how I look at life, right? There are always winners and there are losers. There are going to be women who are going to be able to win according to beauty standards. Okay, all right. Some people at our beauty standards at the moment right now, we can talk about how we have voluptuous women, women that are curvaceous, big butts, big breasts. That's what's in at the moment in this time and season. In this current season of fashion, when it comes to women, that's what's in. And the women who are getting BBLs and getting, their bodies done, and women that are even naturally just thick, they seem to have, quote unquote, more value on the appearance scale because they are meeting closer to the beauty standards, right? And so what that means is that in this time and in this season, you may find yourself having more suitors because those suitors are buying into beauty standards. I believe that beauty standards, they are oftentimes accumulated by the society's larger, widest beliefs, right? Whatever society believes in that time and that season, that then formulates part of what we call beauty standards, right? If the people that are looking for a certain type of woman at that particular time and season, what the influences at that moment is, it could be a woman with voluptuous body, it could be a skinny woman. In the 90s, it was a particular type of physique. In 2023, it's a particular type of physique, a particular face, a particular style of face, different features, right? They shift and move with the times according to beauty standards, right? And the closer you are to that beauty standard, quote unquote, the more value you tend to get out of a situation. Now, there's obviously a different aspect to this, right? Which is that there is, as one was discussing, colonialism and white supremacy involved in the terms of how white culture, or say the demographic of white folks, has colonialized what we believe as to be beautiful. And so the beauty standards that we have are Eurocentric, quote unquote. The beauty standards that we have at the moment tend to be Eurocentric. And again, because that relates to value, because of how women are often judged by their beauty, this is a problem, because if black folk don't meet that, then necessarily we don't meet the beauty standards, right? Okay, we don't meet the beauty standards. So then if beauty standards are Eurocentric, then quote unquote, then your value increases because that is you being closer to the beauty standard. So if it's Eurocentric and you're white and you're more closer to white, then your value increases. This is where also we talk about colorism too coming into play, because it actually is about currency and about value, right? And how we value people based on their color. And so this also feeds into that narrative as well. So I do understand. Right? There's some real stuff that comes along with this issue. All right? Some real stuff that comes along with this issue. My question is, okay, can you call yourself beautiful and it be true? Sorry, or should I say, can you call yourself attractive and it be true? If you say you're attractive, does that mean you're attractive? Asking the audience now. If you say you're attractive, does that mean you're attractive? That's a question we're asking, right? But I'll come back to that in a second or two. Now, someone talked about obviously, the difficulties of the layers. White want to purchase BBLs and also trim their noses. Yes, that's what the lady was saying. That now people are even finding themselves being influenced by other cultures out there that are not necessarily Eurocentric in terms of beauty standards, right? The reality again of the situation is that beauty standards can shift and move with culture and the place. There are some countries where the beauty standard is big women. I'm talking big. I'm talking big. You know what I'm saying to you, right? There are beauty standards everywhere, and guess who gets to dictate it? The majority. Okay, the majority. So beauty standards, they are different in different locations, different contexts, different countries, different cultures. We have different beauty standards, but they are often defined by the majority in that society. And they are upheld by the majority in that society. And they are believed by the majority in that society. Okay? All right. So if we talk about even being, in the Western culture, and we look at what particular things are a part of the beauty standards, we can see there's a lot of Eurocentric influence, but we can also start to see that, like she was saying in the video, there's people now trying to do lip injections, butt injections. There are people trying to get their figure and the waist snatched to a figure 8. They're trying to look like us almost in some aspects as well, right? And so that in itself lets you know that beauty standards kind of affects everybody, or at least it affects women considerably, because again, appearance has some value. We call it beauty capital, where your beauty becomes a way of raising finances or raising a level of currency, which could be attention, money, fame, status. Those things can be drawn because of your beauty, right? So beauty capital. All right. So that's just a thought process in that regard. Okay. So again, the question that you guys asked, and I see a few answers in the chat. Question I'm asking is, if you call yourself beautiful, does that make it true? If you call yourself beautiful, does that make it true? And how do you know you're beautiful? How do you know, that you're attractive, I should even say? Beauty might be a different word. How do you know you're attractive? If you say you're attractive, does that make it true? That's what I want to know. If you say you're attractive, does that make it true? Or can you only be beautiful because we told you so? Let me say the statement again. You can only know you are attractive when I tell you so. Is that true? I just dropped my headphones. Hmm? That's my thought there process. Where'd my headphone go? My headphone done dropped down below. Someone said we all ugly. Haitian said same for you. Absolutely. That's my point. So you're right. Okay. All right. So if you believe that you are beautiful, you believe you're attractive, you're stunning, you're this and that. I'm saying that you can't say that unless you've been validated by the outside world. That the outside world gets to dictate whether you are beautiful or not. You don't just come out and say you're beautiful. You are validated by the outside world to let you know whether you are or not very beautiful. That's a question. It's a question. Who gets to dictate who is beautiful and who is not beautiful? Oh, I think Karina's gone. She said it's an ungodly and provoking convo. She's gone. Well, Karina, we did say in the title it's less tussle tonight. So if you weren't here to tussle, I do understand. It's a tussle arena. Hmm? Someone said, look at the profile pictures in the chat. We bad. Okay. Uh, that's the question I'm saying. I'm saying you can't tell yourself, and I can't tell myself I'm attractive unless someone else tells me or I get validation from the outside world that I am good looking or I am beautiful. You know what I mean? That's what I'm saying. Do you agree, disagree? Okay, Jay Zachary said, I disagree because the outside world changed their standards like the wind. You dictate that. Love that. So the outside, so you disagree because the outside world change their standards. So since they changed their standards and their standards might change and be different, you're saying that then you can't base the fact that you are going to be quote unquote attractive based on the changing nature of the world. So that's an interesting point. Okay. All right. Okay. All right. Cool. I'm hearing that. I'm hearing that. I'm understanding that. That you know that because of that change, I would say that even though it changes, and even though it maneuvers, and that it only affects what we call it only affects the position of where you are in the league table. That's what I'll tell you. That's what I would say. I would say that in response to that, I believe that all that changes is where you are in that league table. If you're pretty, you're pretty. Don't matter when. You know what I mean? I think what the changes are, what the beauty standards that change only kind of dictate where people are and less necessarily in the league table. But in reality, if you're attractive, you're attractive. You get what I'm saying to you? I see you, Sean. I hope you want to jump in, Sean, baby. You get what I'm saying to you? So if you say, okay, so let me give you time. If you sit here and you say, I'm attractive, can your word alone, can your stand alone word be the sole validation that you know what, I am attractive? Or do you base your attraction, and let me say this, let me explain it fully. I believe that no one ever says they're attractive by themselves, right? I believe personally that no one ever, whoever believes they're attractive here, doesn't say it by themselves, right? You don't say it in isolation. You say it because you actually have had what I would call non-verbal cues that have told you that you are attractive. Now, when I say attractive, of course, there are levels to attraction, but you've received non-verbal cues that have told you that you are quote unquote attractive to a certain degree, right? Whether it's men looking at you, whether it's men treating you in a certain way, whether it's pretty privilege that you receive, whether it is men wanting to spend time with you, spend money on you, men just wanting to be in your presence and you're not doing nothing, whether it's compliments that men give you, rada, rada, rada. Okay? Let's see what people are saying. Let's see. Let's see. Grace and Mercy said, I don't need the whole entire universe to confirm. Just need a few to encourage me. Okay, I like it. All right. Just need a few to encourage me. Okay, okay, okay. Free said, I think you only need to be beautiful yourself and the people that are important to you, because when you move around in different circles, you may not be their cup of tea. Okay. People I think people should care about what their partner thinks. Other people's opinions shouldn't matter. Okay, yeah. Haitian Emperor said, well, if mama is the only one telling you again, well. Felicia said, I might be attracted to black men, but not to white men. Okay. All right. All right. I hear you. Someone said you could be attractive because of the energy you carry. Okay. Haitian said, if we say I'm attractive yet move like the world does, not tell you as much, the disconnect is obvious to the rest of us. Okay. All right. Felice said, confidence is in your attractiveness can seduce others into feeling you are attractive. Okay. Another round said, if you live on an island alone, you can dictate how attractive you are and nobody will argue with you. Okay. I hear that. Absolutely, but it's not solely axed in those. Okay. Aha. What we believe about our beauty is affected by others' reactions to our looks for sure. That's it right there. That's it right there. Okay. I'm as tall, short, thin, and thick as I think I am. Just depends on the day. High Vibe said women should remove the male gaze from their beauty standards. Ooh, now that's an interesting concept. Can one divorce the male gaze from beauty standards, right? Or should we say, I mean, beauty standards is quite specific, but can women remove the male gaze and decenter men from the conversation when it comes to beauty? And I think this is an interesting point. Can you decenter men in this conversation when it comes to removing the male gaze from the beauty standard? Is that possible? Is that possible? Aha, Gigi saying something now. Now we're getting some truths. When I was younger, I walked in a room and men would stare. That's when I knew I was considered attractive. And that's what I'm trying to come to now. That many people have had the validation already, and that's why they know where they stand, whether they are pretty or not pretty. They've already had the validation. And actually, day by day, you keep having validation. And for instance, let's say friends go out, right? You go out to the bar, ladies, you go out to the bar and you see who hits on who, right? You're being validated in that moment about who is probably the pretty one of the group because the amount of attention they get, right? And the amount of men that come up and approach or talk to them or whatever, right? You get some level of idea of your level of attractiveness when you go into those spaces. Now, of course, this can change depending on the environment. And this can change depending on where you are. This can change depending on what the society's standard actually is. So that's another factor in conversation too. Um, you know, now that's a question right there. That's a question right there. I like that question. How does the fact that men continue to value women based on beauty factor into this conversation? I think it factors into it 100%. And the reality of the situation is it's never going to change because just like men are valued by the productivity they bring to the table, they ain't going to change. Women going to want what they want, men going to want what they want, right? Women going to want a provider and security and safety, and men going to want beauty. It's never going to change. But the reality of the situation is how much effect it has on beauty standards. It's huge. It's huge. You know, it definitely is a huge thing where we value beauty. It's very, very big thing because it even makes money. Your beauty can even bring in finances. It is not a joke what your beauty can do for you. It can have men waiting at the tips of your finger to do what you want. It can have men literally bowing down and worshiping. That's what beauty can do. Okay? That's what beauty can do. Okay, let's see. Felicia, if that's the case, we need to decenter European gays from our black beauty standards because they're always trying to call us ugly, but swagger jack are everything. That's a complete point. That's a complete point. Mm. Mm. Okay. Practitioner has said, I guess more women have told me I'm attractive than men lately. That's an interesting point. What does that mean? Women are telling you that you're more attractive than the men are telling you. What does that mean? Mm? Good girl gone rich said, if I walk into a room and the only thing you say is damn, she's fine at F. Apologies, guys. Then I didn't do my job. I'm on a journey to be noticed by my spirit, not my flesh. Okay. Hey, I'm not mad at it. I'm not mad at it. But the Bible describes Rebecca as a fine woman, describes Leah and Rachel, well, Rachel specifically, as a fine woman. There's nothing wrong with seeing beauty in a woman. But you're right, there should be more to you. But I'm saying that there's nothing wrong with that, because even biblical, it says to us, Rebecca, Rachel, Sarah, it describes their beauty. And it's the reason being is because, it doesn't make a difference. The world is going to spin, the world's going to spin, which is that women are going to be valued for their beauty, right? That doesn't have to be everything we value by, but they will be valued in some shape or form by their beauty as well, okay? They'll be valued by that, all right? So, yeah, let me just, yeah. Okay, let's see. So it's possible to divorce the standard of male gaze if you're not into men. Yeah, absolutely. Sean, you see that link there? Use the link, brother. Why are you running away? You better get on here. You better get on here. Sandria said, I already said I don't get approached often. I still know I'm fine as F. Well, you won't. What the point of the matter is, it's not just about the approach. That is not the only way you know. That is not the only cues that you take to know if you're attractive. Is by how many people approach you. It is simple. People will take how men look at you, how men treat you, right? Do you get pretty privilege, right? This is also a part of how people take in information about how they know they are attractive, right? You have to start realizing that there are other cues that you as ladies and even gents will take to figure out how they fit on the scale, you know. Okay, so Free said, I do not go out comparing who's pretty in my group, and I work too much to be doing calculations in free time. Well, you don't have to do the calculation, because the calculation is so quick and instantaneous. It's subconsciously done. You don't need to necessarily, sit there and think about it. If I was to ask you and you were to be honest about your honest truth, you could tell me who the prettiest person in your group is. You don't have to, but you could. And the reason being is because you'd have made a calculation already. To say that we're not making calculations, girl, you know you are. We all do, because we're human beings. We make judgments, instantaneous judgments based on what we see and what we have witnessed. So if I was to ask you and you were able to be fully honest and transparent, you would tell me who the finest baby in your group is, right? And then you would then we'd have to ask the question, why do you believe they're the finest babe? And then you could break down, well, this person does X, Y, and Z, and they get this kind of thing that coming to them. Mm. Could be, or it could be the fact that, you know what, you might be a little bit weird. It could be. It could be. It could be. Okay, could be. That's very true. You could be the it girl in NYC, and then you could be second tier in LA. Absolutely, right? And go to Miami, and you be a third tier. Absolutely. Beauty is her name. She said, when women compliment me, I know it's real. Why do you say when women compliment you, you know it's real? Talk to me. What does that mean? Why is it when women compliment you, you know it's real? What does that mean? Said black women, when they get mature, often focus on impressing other women, not men. Okay, I hear it. But why? Okay, so here's my theory on that. Right? Here's my theory on that. Okay, so the reason why women impress other women. How do I put this in a correct perspective? I had it how I want to break it down. It's gone. I wanted to break it down effectively, but my point I was gonna make is gone out my head. Um, but you know, hey, if you say that they're on oppressing other women, not men, why is that? Why is it that women are willing to fight other women over beauty standards or whatever who looks prettier? What is that? What is it? Why is that? Could it be that because they understand the value that men place on beauty, and they're actually inadvertently they end up fighting because they know that how they're going to be treated, how they're going to be cared for, how they're going to be loved, how they're going to be valued by the opposite sex. So the competition against other women is actually in reality about the male gaze anyway, because whoever's the prettiest actually is the one that's going to get the value from the man. So you're competing in some sense for the male gaze. Hey, that's a theory I'm putting out there. Goddess B said the men are not approaching me no more. Let me see. Let me see Goddess B's profile. Baby, you know, I don't know. You look a bit cute. You know, they should be approaching you, baby. It's 2023. Don't worry. You cute, baby. Don't worry. They'll approach you. Listen, Asian Empress, you ain't telling no lie. Listen, men will try to sit next to you on the bus. They will try to talk to you at the gym. They will try to take your bags for you. They'll try to carry something. They'll pay for something for you. Do you know how many times I've been in a shop and I've seen a baddie at the counter and I just wanted to pay something for her? Now I stopped myself because it's stupid, but I want to just pay for it and just flex and be like, you know what, you good, you go, you enjoy your day. People feel good when they're around beautiful people, right? Men feel really good when they're around pretty women, right? How many times you get invited into a section? You know what I'm talking about, bro. When you're pretty, you get invited into the section. You get invited into VIPs. You get invited to see stars and those who are top because of your what? Prettiness. Okay. Felicia said, "All my friends are fine." Well, I asked who was a finest. I wasn't saying they weren't fine at all. But you know, I said only if you could say it. You know what I mean? That's another one that's on the list. You know you're pretty when other women are jealous over you. Now, why are those women jealous over you? They're jealous over you because they know that your beauty converts into attention. Whose attention? The male's attention. You know, I don't want to say it, but I'm gonna say it for y'all. Okay, I'm gonna say it for y'all tonight. Okay, the reason why the jealousy kicks in is because we understand that it creates attention, and a part of that attention, not all, but a part of it is the male gaze and the male attention that's given to those women when they're pretty. They get complimented, they get taken out, they get treated in a different way, and oftentimes people feel jealous because they want to have that level of attention given to them, but they don't get it due to the fact that there is a value placed on beauty as well. So that's an interesting point, right? No, I'm saying they never see me in my pajamas. Okay, AB said male gaze doesn't matter if you don't. Um, sorry, male gaze doesn't matter if you don't want men. Beauty is validated by society. You can think and feel what you want, but the world will always tell you the truth. I think that's a good point. I think that's a good point. I think that's a point that I've made before, that it's beauty is validated by society, right? When you looked in the mirror, of course, you had to have a self esteem and confidence in yourself, but it's really the world that validated that beauty because you took social cues and you took non-verbal cues from people and how they felt about you or how they saw you and interacted with you on what they didn't have to say but said about your beauty as well. All right, precisely. No, that's not it, Felicia, at all. It's not even about impressing. It's not necessarily even about impressing men as well. You know, that's not. It's not really about impressing men at all. Really, you don't have to impress men necessarily. I don't think anyway. About when you wanna, if you wanna change that scope, You don't want to become a pick me. It's not about necessarily impressing us, but having confidence in yourself and treating yourself good, and keeping yourself beautiful. However we want to define beautiful in that respect. Someone said, "Love coach, that's not the reason." Okay, tell me what the reason is. What's the reason, girls? Ladies, what's the reason? Why do if they're in competition? Okay, if they're in competition with each other, what is that? Woo! Now that's a bar. AB83. That's a bar. People who are seen as attractive aren't complaining about beauty standards. People who don't get certain attention complain. That's a very good point. That is a very good point. You know what? That's a very good point. There's a lot of men out there who are getting no poussoir. They're the ones that are complaining about the market. The red pillars are people who are not getting gal. We know this already. The manosphere are the ones that are not getting gal. Yeah. Yeah? We know it. See, this is exactly what I'm talking about. I have random men give me piggyback rides to the car after a rough club night in heels. Why are they doing that? Pretty privilege. Okay, all right. Now that's what we're talking about. Okay, you get bottles sent to you. Come on now, let's start talking about these real stuff now. You see, these are all little validations that are happening. It's not to say that, and I want to make it very clear as well, right? That it's not to say that there isn't a scale of attractiveness. There is a scale of attractiveness. What I'm saying is that nobody validates themselves, right? You can believe you're pretty, you're attractive, but it's when the world says it that it now confirms it to be true. I'm not saying you can't tell yourself and your self-esteem. That's completely different to what physically is interacting with the world. Okay. All right. Mm-mm. That's a fair point. Yeah, competing for it has always been a problem. I can rock with that. Yeah, you know, competing for the male gaze is a problem. I believe that. Absolutely, Chinique 430. Absolutely, it's 100% another truth. Attractive women, yes, absolutely true. Men are hesitant because they're weighing they've put a value on you based on your beauty and said, well, if I see this, other men are obviously seeing this, and so normally, if you're a pretty person, you've probably heard this bar before. You must have many people in your DMs. When you start hearing bars like that, you must have bear guys in your DMs, or you must have bear guys approaching you, you know. Or when you hear a girl said, "Do you know what? I don't even think I'm pretty." You're like, what? You don't think you're pretty? You're like, and they instantly want to try and big you up is because they see your beauty. They know. Not even dog sheesh. Uh, male gaze doesn't pay the bills. You've not lied. Natural Von Lu. Naturally Von Lu is pretty. Y'all don't even if you follow on IG, I was like, yo, she is very pretty. Okay, she's very pretty. I was like, ooh, okay. Absolutely, your sheer presence can shift the narrative. Absolutely, you know. I hear that. Mm-hmm. Male gaze may have no real value, however, it sets a bar for your beauty value level. Absolutely. And look, this is all of us, by the way. Like we all pay attention to beauty standards. You know what I mean? How it affects us is different, but we all pay attention towards it, right? Or how we pay attention to beauty, right? A beautiful woman walks in a room and the men turn their heads, right? The men are like, who's that? Right? Gets the men talking instantly. That girl now knows she is a reason for the commotion. She begins to learn about her power and her beauty and how it really shifts people. Oh, she gonna do it. Okay, so Kathleen said, "Hey, now that I've dropped 85 pounds, boy oh boy, chili this man all up in my face. I have an attitude. I was cute 85 pounds ago." Well, Kathleen, you've just showcased something, right? You were cute before, you said, but you dropped 85 pounds, and the Negroes have come running. Why? Because they've seen something physically that they like. And this is what I'm trying to say. The reality of the situation is we can talk all day and to a blue about how I believe I'm pretty. I believe I'm pretty, but the world will tell you where you stand. And that is exactly what you just said there, right? When you dropped 85 pounds, suddenly, all of a sudden, two things would have happened. The outside world responds, but you probably have also increased your confidence because you feel better, because you also understand the game of beauty standards. You know that a certain shape and a certain physique and a certain look actually responds well to the belief system out in that world. And so actually it's a positive feedback loop, because once you lose that weight, you know what's going to happen. You know what's going to happen when they then respond to that weight loss and they look at you in a certain way. It then fully again validates you, and again it encourages you to go and do more. That's what it is, baby. Pretty privilege is so real. Hey, pretty privilege is so real. I would love to hear some of you guys' experiences on pretty privileges. I myself have participated in pretty privilege. I used to work at McDonald's. Okay, all right. I used to work at McDonald's, and let me tell you something: pretty privilege will hit you hard. I worked in a bank. Pretty privilege will hit you hard. Okay, pretty people don't necessarily have it easier per se, but people are willing to help without even being asked. Men will literally fight to try and get your attention. Nah, privilege is mad. Here we go again. Went out to brunch with friends, and an older man paid for our entire meal of 5 of us. The food was superb. To shout out that man, we looked for him to say thank you as well, right? That's what beauty will do. There we go. Of course, there's a scale. That scale is considered who is a 4 versus 8 or 9 by society's beauty standards. I love that point. And that's a double-edged sword. They do get objectified and judged, they do get objectified and judged, Natalie, and I'm not gonna lie to you, Natalie, your DP looks kind of cute. I think you should continue this conversation in my office. You know what I mean? Yeah, that's what happens. As soon as someone's pretty, people respond to them differently. You get what I'm saying to you? Like, they're gonna respond to what you see you like. They're gonna respond to you differently. Okay, all right. Now we don't want to. We listen. I don't know how we're gonna get into this conversation, but this conversation is the other day, I think Crystal XO did a live, and it's so interesting. We had a conversation. There was a conversation. I want to play it. It was Daily Wrap Up Crew. I want to see if I can get it up, because I definitely wanted to have a conversation about this. This was important. Yes. Okay. So I want to get it up. Daily Wrap Up Crew. Because they were talking some real ish, and I was like, yo, this is what I wanted to definitely talk about this. Mercy, guys. All right, cool. What was the... Okay, here, let me go to it, guys.
iPhone 15 in a mouse case. That was super nasty, and it's absolutely... It's broken. No, it's not. It's mine.
Not the adverts.
Black women are the most loyal to black men, and I'm talking about.
Okay, cool.
They say they like natural. You said one thing,
but they'll pay for a beauty.
Fix yourself up.
He's like,
I find it easier for a white man to approach me than a black.
they do it all the time.
I think
yeah.
I don't. I think
Mhm.
I don't think that's.
I was
I
gonna
don't think
say,
that's
I feel
it.
like I get hit on more by
Yeah.
white guys, but it depends on what environment you're in as well. Like,
Right.
Yeah.
if you go to AC and all the white guys are just gonna.
Man, I got asked on a dude in first class on the plane. Like
Right.
white men are bold. They go for what they want. Like they'll just be like, "You look good. Can
And
I
they
take
like
you
you
out?"
natural. Believe it or not, this might sound crazy to you. A white man would prefer you natural before a black man.
No, that's
Unless
that's
that's
incorrect.
true.
That's
That's
incorrect.
incorrect.
You're wrong.
Just
because they want to touch your head don't mean we don't
let
love
me tell you,
y'all.
I'm
Just
saying
love y'all
they
head.
would- They would not have a problem with you walking down the street with them with your natural afro. I'm saying
No.
literally your natural features versus your significant other that's black would question. You ain't gonna
No.
put your hair
You ain't
back.
gonna put your hair-
Look, see,
come on,
that's-
that's-
see,
that's
that's-
right.
You gonna put your wig
Let's
on.
together.
No,
Like,
Where's your makeup?
I'm not saying every guy do that, but you have to be realistic and be
What
like,
is
it's
it?
a lot of
You have-
they say they like
Look,
natural,
you said one thing.
but they'll pay for a BBL.
Fix yourself up.
They say
And
they
I
like
think
natural, but you would
Wait,
get the girl with the big booty Judy before the skinny girl without it walking.
I
Like
think this is
realistically, it
incorrect.
sounds nice
This
to
is
say
incorrect
that, but
information.
y'all would pick the BBL girl walking down the street before the natural sister walking down the street.
We can
So
tell
to
what
say
community
that-
you from because you're not listening. You're not listening to 3 black men that's right here that love women with their natural.
But I'm not disagreeing with your perspective.
I'm not
but
arguing
you
with
gotta,
you as well.
You gotta look at it from every perspective, right? Not just yours. That's your experience. But I'm telling you, from my experience in dating other black men, that's not the 3 in here. They would pick someone that's not like. I'm a natural sister. Ask them anywhere I go, Afro City, curly hair, etc. When you met me, natural. I'm telling you from experience. You can speak on yours, but I'm telling you
What I'm saying
happens
is, as us all being black people, we need to voice how much we care about each other. I
agreed.
I don't care about how much with this person you may think, and that's your opinion. I'm not disregarding that. I just want to express how much you can't tell me as a black man another man is going to love you more than I will.
I get that. I feel that.
I didn't say love. No, I said accept our naturalness. It's a difference. It's a difference. I never said love
because I went extreme. I want to let you know I love black women. I want to go to the beyond and let you know.
For her body to be altered or get done versus her actually being natural. If we were actually to be ourselves and like I'm saying 100% ourselves, right?
Yeah.
No nails, none of the extra stuff. Half of y'all don't even know what a natural black woman is because we put on so many different things to fit a standard for our men.
Okay, so I think this is okay. So let me speak on that.
Yo, this debate was intense. Yo, that debate was intense. There was about 4 or 5 different conversations happening in one. I want to take the first one. Let's take the first one. The first one I want to talk about is, do black men like natural over aesthetic, over plastic, right? Let's keep it a buck and real, okay? All right. Do black men like the natural look, or did they go after the BBLs? I want to be very frank and very honest with you. We've had this conversation before, and every time we have this conversation, some women do disagree with the perspective, and I get it, right? So let me keep it a buck and keep it real. I believe, according to people that I've been around, that most men do like natural. Okay, they rep natural. They really love natural. If they could have more of it, they would be appreciative of it. In that regard and stuff, right? They really do prefer natural. What we like on Instagram needs to be categorized as sexual currency or sexual attention. Okay? All right? Now, the young lady said about, she's natural, but you know what? The guys like BBLs. What she didn't take into account is, baby, are you fine? What she didn't take into account in her experiences, baby, are you good looking though? Because it don't matter if you got BBL or you think. If you ain't fine, you ain't fine. You know what I mean? So that also then changes her experience and say, I hear your experience. It's probably true, your experience. I'm not going to deny it. But what you may not have taken into account is, baby, were you fine? Okay? All right? Because that plays a role. Okay? All right? So my experience is that most men do like the natural. We're not big. Let me say this again. Let me put it this way as well. And okay, the hair situation. I'll talk about that as well. I think that's an important part to talk about as well. I will say as well. Look, when it comes to, and of course you have to break it down different ways as well, right? When it comes to, even like you said, the hair situation, that's an important part to discuss, right? Because again, the hair situation, me personally, I'm not a big fan of weaves. I'm not a big fan of, and I say Eurocentric weaves, I'm not a big fan of it. I'm not a big fan of the long straight hair. I'm not a big fan of those type of things. I don't mind extensions and stuff, so long as they create the kind of looks that I believe are more Afrocentric, then I'm down with it. You know what I mean? I don't mind if you've got an extension, baby. Get your extension. You know, I personally like that look of. I like braids. I like the cornrows. I like the the box braids. I like the looks that lean more towards black culture, African American culture, those kind of. I lean more towards those styles. I like that particular natural, and of course that isn't always natural. You know what I mean? Because you might have to need extensions, you might need whatever to make it work, and I'm not mad at it, right? So that's another situation. But a lot of men do like the natural look. They do, they really do. You know. But we get told, no, we don't, because that's not who you're with. But the reality of the situation is, what we like on Instagram isn't what we really like. And also, you have to take into account that if most sisters end up doing makeup, hair, everything like that, blah blah, it actually lessens your pool. You ain't got a choice. You almost haven't got a choice. You know what I mean? You almost haven't got a choice. I say almost. Almost haven't got a choice. So it's like it makes your pool a bit smaller. So yes, there are going to be a lot more men who are going to end up dating those women that have all the aesthetics that we don't necessarily believe are natural, because in reality, most sisters are now wearing all those things that are now making them less natural. In that regard, yeah. So it's just a crazy thing, in that regard as well when it comes to beauty standards. And someone said, okay, look, do men want a BBL bum versus the girl that hasn't got much bum? Listen, hey, look, we like bum, okay? We like breasts, we like bump. You understand what I'm saying to you? If it's natural, we are excited, okay? If you've worked hard for it, we're excited, okay? And there are going to be some handful of men, there are going to be some men that are going to like the BBL. Personally, I'm not a fan of it. You know what I mean? I'm not a fan of it. And practitioner, I'm telling you, watch the kind of men that are gonna approach you. Watch the kind of men that are gonna approach you when they see that. I'm telling you, we honestly as men, we do appreciate those things. We appreciate good hair. And when I say good hair, I'm talking about when you take care of your hair, whether it's natural. When it's natural, we like. Of course, it takes longer. We understand that, and that's why we appreciate even the more. You've taken your time to really curate your look in a particular way with a natural look. We are gonna really appreciate it. Trust me, we do. Okay, all right. So just a little something. And then obviously the narrative about obviously white men, treating black women better. I don't think that's necessarily true. I don't think that actually is alignment in that perspective. But let me just listen to that last part again.
For black men, that's not the three in here. They would pick someone that's not like, I'm a natural sister. Ask them anywhere I go, Afro City, curly hair, etc. When you met me, natural. I'm telling you from experience. You can speak on yours, but I'm telling you.
What I'm saying is, as us all being black people, we need to voice how much we care about each other.
Yeah.
I don't
agree.
I don't care about how much with this person you may think, and that's your opinion. I'm not disregarding that. I just want to express how much. You can't tell me as a black man another man is going to love you more than I will.
I get that. I feel that.
I didn't say love. Yeah. No, I said accept our naturalness. It's a difference. It's a difference. I never said love.
Because I went extreme. I want to let you know I love black women. I want to go to the beyond and let you know.
For her body to be altered or get done versus her actually being natural. If we were actually to be ourselves, and like I'm saying 100% ourselves, right? Yeah. No nails, none of the extra stuff. Half of y'all don't even know what a natural black woman is because we put on so many different things to fit a standard for our men.
Okay, so I think this is okay. So let me speak on that. I'm hearing two things. One, sisters love brothers, and majority of my men want sisters too. So if I had to give a statistic, I'll say 98% of my black women want a brother. 85% of my black men want a black woman. That's just my from upper echelon matchmaking. So black men do love sisters. You do, and I think we all love each other, right? We can agree to that. Okay, but back to what she's saying though. I think you do click like on the sister with the big booty. You do click like.
I'm not.
Yeah.
But I think this is with women. We look at physical stuff. We may like it, but that's not what we want.
Got it. Okay.
And I think women got to stop
Mhm.
thinking what men are thinking rather than asking
Ask
them
you. Okay.
what I'm thinking. Because
Got
I could like her and I could mess with her, but that don't mean she's coming home to be
That's
my
not
mother.
wifey. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
I
just-
agree to that. That wasn't the perspective that I was going from. I was
Yeah.
basically saying from my experience, this is not something that's an opinion. This is an experience that I went through. I date different cultures. I date
Right.
different type of men. I
Mhm.
stated that earlier. In my experience, when I dated white men versus when I dated black men, they would accept me 100% in my natural state.
Mhm.
We can also
versus-
bring up the challenges that it.
Now that's very interesting that she has that experience. She has an experience that white men tend to accept her for her natural look. And again, remember we had this conversation some months back. I said about how even black men choose white women because you go where you feel comfortable and where you feel like people accept you. And then what happens is oftentimes there is confirmational bias. So what actually happens is you actually gravitate towards people of that particular race again because you've had a good experience. And what can happen is you have one or two good experiences and then that becomes your norm. So she generally may also have that experience where white guys are accepting her for her natural looks. That doesn't mean that black men are not accepting that at all, right? It just means that she's had some confirmational bias because from her perspective, white folk have been nice, generous, open about her being natural. It could happen. Same thing that happens to those black men that go and end up dating white women. But as long as you're not disrespectful, I don't really give a damn. You know what I mean? Okay, so I was on a dating app with natural pictures. I posted my hair straightened, and a guy sent a message confirming I would wear my hair like that on a date. What does that mean? He wanted you to wear your hair straight or natural? What does that mean? I just want to understand that. So I need my wig for Zoom calls. I hear you, B.
It is for a black man to walk up to the woman, a black woman. Sometimes when we saying, "Hey, nice to meet," we get hot, tough pushback, tough, and Chad might walk over and say, "Hey," and
He don't got no swag. He don't got no swag. He don't got no masculine energy. You gotta be more receptive. Be more receptive to them.
I came up to you corny too, and you gave me an exit.
But
why?
Experience, you're speaking on, but that's not true because I prefer.
But you're speaking on your experience.
No,
though.
I'm saying that exactly. I'm saying
true.
that's his experience. I'm not disputing it, but what I'm saying is that when I dated, I'm speaking on, he didn't have that experience that I'm speaking on, so he wouldn't be able to relate. He would be the outside. He's the black man looking at it, not the black woman that's the natural girl with the black guy or white guy. So he wouldn't understand it from my perspective. And of course, he's looking at it like we love our black women, just like I love my black men. But if I'm being honest, I got accepted more being natural with other race. Not saying that every black man in the world don't like their sister natural.
Right.
That's not what I'm saying. I'm just saying as a whole,
The
realistically,
thing
they
that
do prefer you to be made up before natural.
But you can't say as a whole based on your experience.
Yeah,
you only
we ain't
dated
date.
how many black men and you only dated how many white men. So you can't base a whole on that little
Well,
experience.
what I said as a whole, I'm saying like if you were to take a poll right now, right? Let's say you were to put in just for black men, right?
Right.
And you were to put a natural sister up, right? And you were to put, let's say, another female that's attractive, right? And they were to do their polls, right? And pick, like he just said,
Right.
yeah, we liking that.
We have
with the
over
poll,
200,000 black men that would choose a natural black woman.
And I agree with you 100%, but you also got to calculate.
Hey, listen, look, you know what? I'm not gonna argue her case, you know what I mean? If she said that that's her experience, let her have her experience, you know what I'm saying to you? I'm just gonna say that, if you've been to work before, those white people do not mess with their hair that's natural. I'm just gonna be honest with you. I'm gonna be real with you, okay? I'm not saying they don't like it. I'm just saying that you know how they move with our hair and how they feel about it in certain looks. So, I believe that probably that some of that behavior translates into dating. I'm not saying they don't love the natural. I'm not saying they don't love the natural. Just saying that they too have a problem. They ain't the only ones. They ain't the only ones as well. So hey, I'm not mad at it. Okay. They chose the natural woman when it controlled environment when it comes to their selections, tells different stories. Okay. Someone said if it looks like it's coming from your scalp and you can't play in it, he's good. No. I hear that still 100%. Absolutely. Why not? I'm a person. I like level ones. Y'all don't know. I like level ones. If you know me, yeah. There's one girl. Hey, listen. I can't even say too much because no, she doesn't watch my stuff, so that's cool. But the girl wears level 1. I get excited when I see her, bruv. I get excited. Level 1. Y'all don't play with me. When you have your hair short, like mine, and it's done well, and you have a little wave in it. Ooh, you looking like a little baddie to me. Please don't play with me. Damn. Let me even get a picture so you can understand what I'm talking about. So you understand what I'm talking about, okay? All right. Look on level 1 where it's just good haircut, man, and look good. You understand? I'm not talking big hair. I'm talking just a level 1s out here, cuz, with a good what? With the sexy fade as well. Oh, baby. Don't play with me. I will fall in love in a second. Let me show you what I mean. This kind of hairstyle here. Let me show you what I mean. Ooh, don't make me fall in love. What? See this right? See this kind of stuff right here? Don't make me fall in love, blood. Look at this kind of hairstyle. This is my stitch. This is my ish. It's my ish. This kind of hairstyle. Ooh, you gonna make me fall in love. You gonna make me fall in love. See this stuff right here? Ooh. Level 1s. Something about it. You know what I'm saying to you? Something about it. Ooh, baby. Don't play with me. You feel me? Don't play with me. I like that kind of look. So me personally, I have a look that I like. You know what I'm saying? So, see, they know. Dollface Couture was saying it. Listen, hey, it gives you that. Listen, I'm telling you, we'll be up in that place. We'll be up in that place. I'm telling you. You know what I mean? I'm telling you, we'll be up in that place. Woo! So we do like this kind of stuff as black men. We do. We really do. We do love that kind of that our sisters in that natural state. I can guarantee that. We do. There are a lot of men who don't, but we do love natural on our sisters. And there's a lot of men who don't even necessarily, I won't even say not like makeup, but they don't like too much makeup, right? Put some makeup on, but not too much makeup. You already know my stance on this makeup situation. I love you when you haven't got the makeup on. When you ain't got the makeup, that's when I see you the beauty best. Oh my God. Let me put it back on what I was putting on. Let me put it back on here again.
Like the 200,000 that went. It's 50.
But you basing your survey on your experience. Is what I'm saying.
Yeah, because I dated different types of men.
I hear what you're saying, but your percentage of what you're dating based on the whole is very small.
Yeah,
I can agree to that. Yes, I can agree to that. But like I said, from my experience, that's how it was for me. For other females that I know, they had similar experiences where they were treated better, with their natural features dating a white man. So that's why I said that.
Sometimes
not taking away from the black man, because I love my black men.
Sometimes white men, and when I have white men that call me and ask for matchmaking, I question if it's a fetish, because sometimes they fetishize us. And when, especially if I hear a white man that says, I like them chocolate, I like them natural hair, they do say these things, but I'm like, is it a fetish? Do you have and
it's looked at as when they say it's appreciation.
It sounds appreciation, but I'm hearing a fetish. Why she got to look like this?
How do you differentiate them?
Well, I think it makes it. I have a sex therapist on staff, so what I do is my sex therapist gives you a whole list of questions, because I got to understand, where is this coming from? Right. You might be attracted. He says this is what I'm attracted to. Where is it coming from? Does it turn you on because she's really dark with full lips? Like, what is it? Like, I need to understand that.
That's dope.
It doesn't mean that I'm not. I have clients with fetishes all day, but I want to, from a black woman's perspective, I want to know: are you wanting this black woman because you're fetishizing her, or is that just something you're attracted to? Right. Yeah, I need to know that.
And I'm everybody has the experiences. I'm not taking that away from you. I just dislike, because I love black women too much. I dislike black men and black women when we tend to put other races on a pedestal.
Yeah.
I hear black men say all the time, well, white women treat me better, or they're more receptive to me. They come up to me and talk to me. You know what I mean? And like, I don't like it either way. And I understand that is an experience, but I don't like this pedestal, this putting people on a pedestal and trying to make it seem like they're perfect and they do X, Y, and Z perfect. Because black men can say the same thing about any other ethnic group of women. But, you know, and it's wrong. You know what I mean? But I can't. I get triggered.
We hear that a lot from
I get triggered when I hear black women
treat me better, or she's not as aggressive, or she may not yell or do what this black woman. We hear that a lot.
Yeah, no, I'm not. But what I'm saying is, I don't condone any of it.
Right.
But to me, it does trigger me when I hear black women and black men say it. It triggers me because I'm like, your pedestal, because you have grown up with this person. I've seen the corny black man get rejected by black women, but the corny Chad come around, is riding a city bike in New York City, be able to get the number. Or how many times we've been at parties, white men don't got no rhythm, but the black women, you know, all quick on the dance on him, throwing it back on him, but I couldn't get a dance. So you know what I mean? So again, we do.
Now that's a different conversation. That's a different conversation. Now we're talking about how, you know, sometimes the sisters, some sisters be given very much preferential treatment, you know, when it comes to, you know, the white male, the Caucasoid, over, you know, fellow black men, right? And sometimes what happens, you know, they get a pass for certain behaviors because they're not seen as a threat. And that's just the honest truth, right? So sometimes you might see a girl give the white guy a dance because he's not a threat, or he's not considered a threat, because he hasn't got that image when it comes to quote unquote, you know, being in a club or whatever and dancing. He's not seen as a threat, but you are, right? So that's why sometimes those situations do happen. You know? Yes. So black women do so when they're exasperated with black men, just like when black men are exasperated with black women, they go and do something else too. It's when people are exasperated and tired, they're gonna do what they're gonna do. They're gonna do what they're gonna do. You hear me? They're gonna do what they're gonna do. All right. Let me watch a little bit more.
We have our experiences, and I'm not trying to take anybody's, you know, personal experiences away from them, but we just got to do a better job.
I looked up the stats. It says 16% of women earn more than their husbands. 29% are making somewhere similar, and over 50% husbands earn more.
Yeah, I know that in general that's it, but in our demographic,
y'all both.
Okay. All right. Cool. So, any other thoughts, guys? Any other thoughts, ladies, as well, guys, ladies and gentlemen, on beauty standards? You know, any other thoughts on this conversation? Anyone want to jump on the live and give me their peace of mind and their side of things? We'd love to hear your thoughts. You know what I mean? I'd love to hear your thoughts. I see there's a conversation in the chat going on. That's a question. You know? That's a question. According to Lonely Love, when you see me with something other than a brother, I've tried and is tired. Is that the truth? Is that the truth? If black women are open to dating other races, is that because you're tired? That's the question. Nelson said, "Can I ask a personal question?" Go for it. Ask the question. Is that true? Exasperated with black men's nonsense. So y'all are no better than the men. That's what you're telling me. So y'all are basically saying that y'all ain't no different to the black men, because the reason why they're choosing these other races is because they feel like they're tired of your shenanigans too. So y'all in the same boat. Y'all in the same boat. Hey, Daphne. Now, let me give a bit of pretty privilege to Daphne here as well, guys. You know, because she's a fine babe. I just want to say, Daphne, the fine babe, it's good to see you here. Want to give you a little bit of pretty privilege. Just want to uplift you on the channel a little bit for a few seconds and then go back to what I need to do. Okay, so, you know, then that's the same thing that the black men are doing when they say they're tired of black women too. And so the black women are tired of the black men and the black men are tired of black women. Nobody should complain about anybody because everybody's doing it. You know what I'm saying to you? Right? Someone said what you're saying is statistically dishonest. What is dishonest about it? I never said that we're equal in doing it at the same time. I said what we're doing and the reason why you're doing it. I didn't say we're equal. I didn't say we're equal in the amounts that we do it. I just said that you have the same reasoning. Daphne put Kojo smiley face. Let me just acknowledge you again, Daphne, because you know you don't gas me a little bit too much on this live. You know, as you're replying, I'm getting excited. You know what I'm saying? Let me sprinkle a little pretty privilege on there. You know what I'm saying to you? As you replied, I got excited. You know what I mean? Like my life just became better with you inside of it. You know what I'm saying? You keep replying to the messages, Daphne. Okay, see me in my office later. I appreciate you. Yeah. Okay. The endpoint looks the same, but the reasons are different. I don't think they're much different. I don't think they're that much different. You said that when you guys are going to this to go into the white man, you're tired. That's why you're going there. You're going there because you're tired. And I'm saying that there's a lot of black men too who feel like they're tired of your shenanigans. The same way. Okay. Nelson said that I hit puberty like on life on or earlier in life. I don't know about puberty, but if you're talking about, you know, did I bloom? Yes, I'm a late bloomer. I'm a late bloomer. So yes, you are correct. I'm a late bloomer. Someone said you got Tay back. Sean, why are you not joining the live? Why is Sean tussling in these comments and not joining the live? Sean, can you click on the live? Why are you tussling in the comment section and not coming on live? Come and join me, please. Thank you, Sean. He's out here tussling in the comment section. So I want a soft life with the white men. I hear you. I hear you. Okay, let's see what else the comments are section saying. Let's see what people are saying. Okay. So Sean said I'm on my comment ministry tonight. Yeah, Lord, they're trying to tussle. Someone said they don't want Tay Diggs. Okay, so Tay Diggs is not wanted. All right, cool. Cool. Daphne said, I prefer black men, but I've always kept my options open. Now, Daphne, I'm going to need you to close those options expeditiously. Those options need to be closed right away, sis. Why do you need to? Why is that door open? Why is that door open? Talk to us, Daphne. Why is that door opening? Daphne, why is that door open? Why y'all opening the door to to other races? What is a reason for that particular aspect? I need to lock my door because I'll be hearing noises. I was getting a little bit scared there. I heard noises coming out my door. I went to lock the door. I said, "It won't be me. It won't be me that'll be on the show." All right, Sean is there. What are you telling me?
I've been summoned.
You've been summoned indeed, sir.
I was having a good time tussling in the comments, so
You were, bro. You was tussling deep in them comments. I was like, this brother gonna leave us here like that?
So yes, what do you want me to say? Come on, tell me.
Well, I guess the conversation shifted, but we were talking about obviously beauty standards, talking about who can validate who when it comes to beauty. Can you be beautiful on your own without the validation of the world? We wanted to get your perspective. You've heard this conversation before already, so I want to get your perspective.
Well, listen, I think, there's two things at play. And, that's some of the things I was saying in the comments earlier on when we started the conversation is that it's self-esteem versus, actual attractiveness, So I think at the end of the day, how you feel about yourself is one thing, and we all should have a sense of self and self-esteem and inner confidence. However, there also needs to be a balance of reality. So if it's not validated to a certain extent, then that's when you have people that have sometimes these overinflated egos, or they're out of touch, because you can walk around saying you're beautiful all day long and you should feel good about yourself, but if it ain't the case, it's not necessarily true. So it's like the feelings, the facts, self-esteem versus, you know, what actually is viewed by the rest of the world.
I absolutely hear that. I absolutely hear that. I'm with you 100%. I agree with your particular perspective on this as well. I personally believe that, when it comes to, uh, when it comes to who gets who gets to say who is beautiful, the world tells us we are beautiful or not. You know what I mean? And then you kind of pick that up as you go along through life, through certain things that happen to you. People tell you, they talk to you, and then you kind of know where you kind of stand, whether you're pretty or not pretty. So yeah, I definitely agree with that point that you just brought to the table. I think it was a good way of explaining and differentiating for the audience as well. So I'm definitely with that as well. Go for it, bro.
Now, the other thing that I do want to tussle about, and I'm about sick of hearing this foolishness, is this whole, white men love black women and da 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 da, and y'all, everybody needs to just go ahead and divest, and you're gonna get better options. Stop the cap, because at the end of the day, it's such a small population, and I just want us to give each other more grace. It's the same way where the brothers that are passport bros and the bros that are, the guys that are running around saying, they're gonna get better options from women in other cultures. It's crap. So I just want us to just stop this, because all it does is promote self-hate and internal strife, and then we start this confirmation bias, because now every experience we have with with each other, we're saying, oh, that's an example, right? Oh, that black man didn't like my hair when it was like that, so that's representative of all black men. And on the other shoe, that black woman, you know, she was rude to me, and when I approached the sister, she didn't like me. So now I'm gonna go over here and I'm gonna talk to the Latinas, or I'm gonna talk to Asian women now, or white women. Yeah, I'm over that, you know, because it's crap. We can't generalize, and when we do that, it does nothing for us. Now, I'm all for, if you find love in somebody, find love in whomever that person is, right? But just to intentionally seek out, intentionally go after, or say you're doing it because black men suck. I'm just tired of that nonsense, because Coach, we have many of an example, right, where we've seen sisters move mad, right? But we can't just generalize and be like, oh, that's all black women. They're all doing da 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 da. Because trust me, just as much as black women have examples of men that are out here doing wildness, and I'm not gonna dismiss it and pretend like it doesn't happen, we got sisters doing some next level stuff, moving mad. Dark arts on level 20, you know? So I just want us to just move away from this narrative that we're gonna just automatically get a better option going to another race, because guess what, you still the same person, and you gonna bring your issues over there, and guess what, that white man you thought that was gonna give you the best, you gonna run up against somebody that's a mirror just to you, and it's gonna bounce it right back to you. And the same thing for us brothers, we're not exempt from it either.
I definitely hear that. My brother said he told your ass. But yeah, no, I definitely hear that. And that's what I said. So that's why I think on both sides, the confirmational bias is bad, because there are black men who are saying, you know, white women are better, and then black women saying white men are better. And it's like both of them just be doing the most and not taking any nuances, and really they were doing damage to each other by stating some of these rhetorics that we believe, whether we know that aren't necessarily true. So you know, I think that's also a truth, you know, for other black men too, that, you know, that we don't agree with that generalization when they put white women on a pedestal. We just don't agree with it. It's just nonsense. And the same versa when women do it to men as well. We're not on it. You know, we love our people them, we love our black people them, and you know, if you don't, that's cool. But we definitely ain't going to try to put someone else above you or above them. That doesn't make no sense to me. So for me, you're absolutely right, bro. Black men shouldn't be saying it. Black women shouldn't be saying that nonsense. It just shows a bit of shallowness, and oftentimes it shows a, you know, a lack of deeper understanding. You know, that's needed and required in the space. But hey ho, people will do what they gotta do, but I'm with you, bro. Um, you know, I'm with you 100% on that, you know. Someone said Dr. Umar 24/7, stop being disingenuous. And someone said, Sean, you're looking option ish right now in that AVI. Yeah, I have to get you, boy.
Brooklyn, you know, as Kojo says, meet me in my office.
Meet me in my office. You're gonna be saying all this talk in the chat. You better meet me in my
we
office.
can have a meeting. We can have a one-on-one.
There's a meeting in my.
And don't be late.
I want to see you on time. Okay.
Exactly.
I want to see your time. What's your thoughts then, Sean, on this natural conversation then? Because that conversation came on. It's like, you know, black men like natural women. You know, what's your position on that particular aspect?
Look, I feel like sometimes we get gaslit, you know? Our favorite term, right? I think they be gaslighting us because, yo, low key, me and you have conversations, and although there's a general level of attractiveness, right? So I think if you and I both see a beautiful woman or a woman that's highly attractive, we're going to agree. But then we have something that's unique, right? Like you may like something and you're like, oh, I can see it, but it's not really my thing, right? But I think universally, you and I line up, we love a natural woman. When we both saw Yaya DaCosta when she was in that movie, the television show rather, Our Kind of People, we were flipping out, right? She had every natural hairstyle under the sun, and we loved it. We celebrated every version of her. We like it. I talk to my other friends. They love women with natural hair. You get what I'm saying? So similar to you, I remember I dated this woman who had a fade like that. I just it was just it just caught her beauty just like hit me. And when she had that fade and her cheekbones, she didn't wear a lot of makeup, and she was just beautiful to me. And I could appreciate that. And I'm not saying that's not for every man, right? Every man's not out there like that. But I'm just saying there is definitely a population and an overwhelming majority of men that do like natural hair. Now, I ain't gonna get into the texturism and the featureism of it all with y'all, but I'm gonna tell y'all we like your natural hair. You know, if a man had to choose between a woman wearing her natural hair versus a weave, I'm telling you the overwhelming majority of men would prefer the natural hair. Now, how it's looked, how it's styled, you're probably gonna get a mixed bag of results, but I'm gonna tell you they would rather her natural hair versus a weave any day, all day.
100% truth. Don't get on to Corey about it. Anyway, but you know, I definitely hear that. And it's again, we're not saying necessarily not necessarily saying that we are against all types of wigs, weaves. I think there's a time and a place for them. You know, I think there's a time and a place for that kind of conversation and for that kind of situation too, right? Me personally, you know, I love the fros, I love the curls, I love, you know, the natural kinks. I mean, I love a good afro. If a girl's got an afro, you're gonna have my heart too. You know, the afro be looking real cute for me. Well, that note was off, but don't worry about that. Anyway, so you know, it's cute for me. Okay, you know, I like it. So personally, I think a lot of times when we do say we like these things, I think we get told that we're lying, and that's usually the overwhelming response back. Y'all are lying. And I feel like because what's happening is that the media portray one thing, and then social media portrays another thing, and then your real voices get drowned out. And then people look at what men actually double click on and then believe that's what we like. But the reality of the situation is what I want to have sex with ain't usually what I'm trying to be with. Like, they're two different things. The whole point of her having a big ass and that's fake, and having big ass breasts that are fake and everything this large, is because it's a fantasy. It's supposed to stay a fantasy. It's not meant to be my everyday meal. You know what I mean? So, you know, that's what I would say. You know, JJ's on the building, baby.
I know what time it is. I'm about to be called kind of masculine energy right about now, but I'm gonna need these ladies in the chat to stop the cap when they act like they don't know their beauty is currency, because it always has and always will be. I need y'all to stop it. It goes in and out, it flows. Yes, the standards may change according to what society dictates as beautiful as a time. It may fluctuate with weight, looks, hairstyle, and all that, but you know, beauty has always been a currency. Y'all got up in the corporate world, and all of a sudden, y'all don't know what your currency originally was, when it was beauty. And everybody that was vying for men's attention at the time, even women's attention nowadays, you're still basing it off of beauty and what you perceive as beauty and what that person perceives you as. So I'm gonna need y'all just to stop on the cap just a little bit for those that's out here trying to cap, trying to be like, oh, beauty is not that important. And you know, it's more than just looks. Looks is the first thing that people see when you walk in the room. It's just like a plate of food. The first thing you do is look at it. Now, sometimes if you're close enough to the kitchen, you might be able to smell it. But the first thing you do is going to look at it, and you're going to say if this plate of food is something I actually want to consume or not. Beauty works the same way when it comes to men, and we do know this. Any other time when we having a discussion up here and we be like, oh, women usually we look for more things in men than just, you know, their looks and all this stuff like that. But we always say men's number one thing is they go for beauty first. Over your personality, over your job, over a whole bunch of things, they're going for the beauty first. Your beauty will actually make men put up with a lot of your attitude. They wouldn't put up with an average or less than average looking woman. So we gonna stop playing in the chat like beauty don't matter. Otherwise, we wouldn't have so much beauty products being sold to us on a daily. We wouldn't be having so many hair companies being started on a regular. Our fashion wouldn't be dictating how the world works majority of the time if that was not the case, because all of those things play into the beauty of a person. I just want to start there. We can continue on. I'm sorry.
No biggie, you're good, babe. Sean, what's your thoughts to that?
Yeah, no, I'm 100% with Jay. It's like we I mean, it's not exactly that, but it's like you're gonna piss on my leg and tell me it's rain. You know, it's like, come on. I think we don't sometimes people don't like the downside to it, but they like the upside. So they don't like the downside to, you know, some of the aspects of the beauty standards that are placed on women, but they will sure take a privilege. You know, if a police officer pulls you over, you might just flash a smile, right? You might just flash a smile and flip your hair, or, you know, do whatever you got to do to, you know, leverage to get out of the situation. And that's when it's beneficial. So you can't tell me that it doesn't come with certain things, right? You know, a woman will be at a certain place and men will, you know, oh, hey, you only have those 2 items. Please feel free to get in front of me. You know, that happens to those types of things happen to women. You're in Starbucks, you know, and somebody's going to either pay for your order or be a little extra nice. Those things are the reality of it. You go to work and someone is going to engage you more in conversation, be more willing to help you on a project, be more willing to help you do something than someone else. The downside is that's not going to happen for everybody. So for those of us that are not on the other end of it, or maybe don't necessarily receive the benefits, yeah, we want to kind of recreate the narrative. It shouldn't be overly emphasized, but we can't pretend like it does not exist.
So that question that Grace has up there, I guess it depends on how you perceive that person when they say that they don't feel like they as beautiful. If you perceive them as, you give them the compliment. Most people are gonna give you that compliment and say, I don't know what you're talking about. I see you as this, if that's what they see you as. However, the people that may not see you as it is just probably gonna stay silent and silently agree with you or whatever. And that's or if they blunt and honest, like some people like to say, they're gonna tell you the mean truth. Unfortunately, you know, it's like the society is going to only build your confidence. I do talk about being self-love and self-confidence that you gotta have. You gotta have a bit of it in yourself, because you don't want to walk out into society, because it's a very hard and cruel place where a lot of people who may perceive beauty in a certain way, let's say, i.e. European standards, and I come in with a very hardcore African look, yeah, they might not perceive me as beautiful. So I have to have enough confidence in myself to be able to walk through that culture and understand that this is not the one for me, but that I'm still beautiful within the culture that loves me. You can go into an African culture and they're going to accept you just fine. They're going to like the big lips. They're going to like the nose and stuff. They're going to like all of those features because that's what they're used to, and that's what their beauty is based off of too. And I missed the beginning of this live, so I don't know if you had explained some of the backstory of how we got this topic. But this was along the lines of what we were trying to convey to one of the people that was amongst the group, is that your beauty level is determined by society. Yes, you can feel as confident as you want. You can say you as beautiful as you want. But the true test is, are you attracting a high percentage of the people you're going after? That's the actual factor. It's not about what John, Sally, and Mark, all of these random people may think about you, because if you don't want them people, it doesn't really matter. But the people that you actually are trying to attract, are you living up to what they feel is beautiful? And that's where you start to really actually value yourself against the world, because it's about who you're attracting. If I'm trying to attract, say, a six-figure, that standard man, and in today's world, I more than likely have to have the BBL, the long weave, this Kim Kardashian, some look of it all, because that's what those men, for the most part, perceive as beautiful. However, I can go down the street and find me an average Joe or whatever, and he's going to look at me and in my natural form and probably think I'm the goddess walking the land. So it's a matter of just make sure that wherever you want your currency to get the most value at, you find yourself there amongst those people. Just like that lady on that show is saying, oh, most white men find me more attractive. Well, baby, that's where you need to go spend your money at. Because if that's where you feel like they find you the most attractive, that's where you just go spend your currency at. Don't waste your time on people that's not going to look at you in the way that you look at yourself. And no matter how much confidence you have, if a person just don't fancy you, they're not going to fancy you. The one thing about confidence is it helps change people's perspective on you. And if you add that to a vibe or a personality, you can get by a lot further. But will you still get that person that you actually want if it's just not what he wants? Probably not. So there's a lot of things to factor in, and when it comes to beauty and all that. Yeah, you got to factor in the confidence. You got to factor in your self-love. You have to factor in that, but you can't dismiss what the world feels about you either. That's actually how you pivot and adjust yourself to be on a better market later on.
No, go for it, Sean.
Yeah, I was gonna say the other thing too, in terms of like what Grace was the question that she had posed. I think there's two things at play here, right? And I think that everyone should have self-esteem and self-confidence. Now, if universally, like if you're not feeling validated by people, you should know that yes, beauty is in the eye of the beholder, and there is someone that will find you attractive. But I don't think the answer is to just overwhelmingly just run around and call yourself beautiful and say I am beautiful no matter what anybody else says, and I don't need people to tell me that, because beauty by definition is based on sight. So it's based on how someone visually perceives you. And but the great thing about it is there's going to be people or a person that looks at you and sees your beauty. And hopefully it's not just the surface, but initially we all do a visual assessment of each other. We all do a visual assessment and we take it from there. And it's not just the fish. So we're not saying too, and I just want to kind of make this point clear. Just because somebody's attractive doesn't mean you get everything you want. It doesn't mean it's the key to the city and you get every single thing you want. It is the starting point, right? It is the starting point. We're all visual. For those of us that have sight, we look at someone. As soon as we meet them, we make an assessment. Then we talk, we get to know them, and then we take it from there. But you can't tell me as a visual, we are visual people. That's how we were designed to do. It is also biological. So certain things about us, about our looks, are biological. So I just don't want us to just throw the whole baby out with the bathwater, because yes, can it get crazy? Can people, have developed low self-esteem because they've been told bad things about their looks? Absolutely. We're not trying to glorify that, but we also can't ignore that beauty is visual and it is real.
You know what's making me laugh right now is I keep seeing people write in the chat, don't seek validation, don't seek validation. And I'm just like, how do you not do that when it's an innate trait that's instilled in you since baby, since childhood, since birth? You've been trying to get validation of your parents. You get validation of your friends. You get that validation and all these things. You go to your work, you look for validation. Your life is about 80 to 90% of being validated. Some of that validation may be self-validation. Sometimes it need to be self-validation. But a bunch of other people, there's no way that you're telling me you're not seeking anybody's validation at all. I just don't believe it. I could be wrong, but I just don't believe it. You might not want the masses validations, but there's somebody who you want to validate you for something. And if it's part of your looks, that's part of that beauty currency we're talking about or whatever, stuff like that. But you want to be validated for something. And a lot of times, the first thing, like Sean says, people look at you and they assess you from there, whether they can proceed with you or not. I don't know what to tell y'all.
Well, I mean, I think, what, there's a balance, isn't it? Right. Which is that you don't want to become a slave to validation. But the reality of the situation is we have validation from many different sources. And that's why I was saying that validation doesn't just come in one perspective, it comes in multiple dimensions. It comes through friends, comes through family, it comes through romantic relationships, it comes through you dating, it comes through also you guys going out, you go through new settings, new environments, work, wherever you are, there is an aspect of validation that tends to happen. Since we're talking about beauty, your validation is being reassured on a daily, right? Sorry, I heard silence. It's just the rain. But your beauty is reassured on a daily. And when I say the beauty is reassured, not that you don't know you're beautiful, but you're reassured through happenstances and situations that happen, right? For instance, you could be at work and your boss be like, "You look nice today." It's a validation, right? That you get, how people look at you, how they interact with you, how they stare at you. Um, there's those aspects, right? So you actually get your validation informally, and you get your validation without necessarily being conscious of the validation that you get. When we go to work, church, people don't want to tell the truth. The way that some of you dress, you weren't dressing for Jesus. And you certainly weren't dressing for your own benefit, right? You dressed in a particular way, and I'm not even talking about sexy. You dressed in a particular way because you wanted somebody to say, "You know what, you look good. Oh, that pencil skirt, baby, is looking good. Your legs are looking good. You've been working out in the gym." We all do our little thing. You know what I mean? We all do our little thing, right? But if you've ever worked in an office, now you know that people be seeking validation on all fronts. You know what I'm saying? You get your new hair done and nobody says anything to you, you're gonna feel some type of way. Okay, all right. So what I'm saying is that we don't want to be a slave to validation. No, we don't want to be in a place where you are pick Misha and you're slaving yourself to be validated by people. What I'm saying is that as human beings, we don't live on the world on our own. We we live with other human beings. And part of that socialization is that we do look for, or should I say, we are willing to accept and want some levels of validation from people, whether that comes, whether you've done your new hair, whether you've done new nails, whether you, did put on a new, went to the shop and bought new clothes, changed your fashion trend, bought new trainers, like, there's a feedback loop, that also we don't really take into account. Like, for instance, when I buy a new pair of trainers, I put on the trainers and I walk outside, I feel good. But you know why I feel good? Because first and foremost, probably the trainers were probably expensive. Number two, they already have social proof attached to it. When you buy a dress or you buy some trainers with a label on it, you actually already have your validation from the fact you bought the product. You just didn't realize it. Because when you bought the product, social proof tells you that how many people have also bought that product. So people have already validated the product. So you believe that what you're wearing is valuable or makes you look good because actually it's already been validated by other people buying that brand or that particular product. So actually you already got your validation. You don't need someone to come and tell you it looks good. You know it looks good because someone's already told you because they bought the product already and that product is popular. Right? So those things happen as well. And, they are sources of validation that we don't really necessarily fully take into account, that even those things you get a validation from as well. Right? You go and buy a pair of red bottom, heels, right? Tell me how you gonna feel when you buy them. Now, some people don't like red bottom heels, and I understand that. But if you like red bottom heels,
Listen, Shauna validate any of y'all that buy heels and wear them, okay?
You know he love heels.
You know you ain't lying now, Jay. You know it. They don't got to be red bottoms though.
It's gotta be cute heels.
Sorry, Coach. Didn't mean to cut you off your thought. Just wanted the ladies to know if they needed a little validation, get you some heels and send a picture to Sean.
No, it's real. I'm not even mad at that. You know what I mean? I'm not mad at it. I'm just kind of just rounding up that point and saying, like, I think there is what we call covert subconscious validation that we receive, and then there's ones where we are being overt about it and wanting to be seen and heard and want that validation. And I think most people, when they hear validation, they wanna run to the overt. But the reality is, we do a lot of covert things that actually we seek validation, or we want to receive validation. Right? I don't know anybody who goes to do their nails and doesn't want anybody to see them. Okay? And if you want someone to see it, what do you want them to say? It looks good, right? So you want the validation. You want to be validated in that moment. You didn't go and do your nails and nobody sees it. How many times we hear women joke about, I wore a dress once and nobody saw it, I'm going to wear it again. Why? Because you need validation. You need to be told that you've been seen in it, right? There's an aspect of being validated in that moment. It's not to say that you're bad. It's to say that that's the reality of life. And that, there's some form of validation that comes from outside of yourself as well. I don't know if you guys want to jump in. You can say your piece. Sean or Jay, feel free.
I think we got the point across pretty much and stuff. I don't know. Those, I don't want to sound mean or whatnot, but, my little rudeness is going to come off harsh. But, those who like to be like, oh, my beauty is not this and that. And I work off my personality first, and I'm not digging nobody in the comments that says this, because I think I got a good ass personality too. However, that means in most cases when you trying to lead with your personality, that means your beauty, it might have been a little crunch at first, you know what I'm saying? And not saying it can't be worked on, trust. I'm still working on mine. So y'all know I ain't well with makeup and all this stuff. So I got to figure out how to get mine right naturally. And I also do agree that, because most of the men that I actually do know, they prefer natural women. They don't like all the fake hair. They don't like that. And they don't care what C, 4C, 3C. They don't actually care. The ones I know. So if y'all want to meet the ones I actually know, they'll take you with your tight, curly coils and all that stuff too, because they love me and mine. So listen, I know a lot of plethora of black men who love you in your natural form when you first wake up, because that's the space they gonna see you in the most. You know, and yes, whoever had that question in there, are we buying makeup and wasting our money on it? For the most part, when it comes to men, yes, y'all better stick to that line. Like, I buy makeup for myself because that's really what you're buying it for. Y'all really buying it for yourself. There's a handful of men out there that would tell you they don't want their woman to come out without this certain thing, but that's a certain ego that they got with themselves. But the majority of the men do not really care. Listen, if y'all realize how these men was looking all happy for us being natural in Jamaica, because they was like, y'all cannot come to Jamaica and try to be happy, all pretty and stuff like that. They was excited to see us. Okay, so that confirmed and validated for me that these Negroes like us in our natural form. So don't be shamed.
Now, Jay, I'm gonna ask you, when do I give you the most compliments?
When I wake up in the morning with a bonnet on. No, just playing.
Listen, that's what I like it, you know.
You better stop starting trouble.
No, I'm just playing. You about the only one that has seen me up in the morning in a bonnet. But yeah, when I don't, y'all give me the most compliments when I actually don't have makeup on and stuff. And most of the men that I talk to, I have talked to in the past, have given me the same compliments at that time. And it used to be a strange thing to me. I even got to the point where I asked my dad, why do men holler at me after basketball practice or after I'm looking all rough and stuff? And it was like, my dad told me, he was like, because they see you in that state. And if they find you attractive in that state, they can only imagine when you actually put some effort in fixing yourself up, what you look like. So if they looking at you, what you feel is your worst, and they seeing you as beautiful, that's because they already know what you look like at your best. You're already at your best to them. And child, he couldn't tell me nothing else. So y'all can't get my family to pick up makeup. Half my family don't even wear makeup.
Yep. And when you have that hair out natural, come on, Jay.
Child, that thing be doing whatever it want.
And it's just fine. That's why I took y'all all on that boat. I was like, no, we're gonna get on this boat. Everybody gonna be forced.
No makeup.
What I tell him, if you're wearing a wig, you better strap it down.
You better strap it down real good.
Because the wind
it's gonna be floating.
The wave's gonna take it.
Well, you see how one of my sisters was. She had her regular braids and then just slapped the wig on every so often. She like, here y'all go.
The wig gonna be in the sea.
Right.
We be singing the Isley Brothers, float on.
Listen, you know what I mean? Like, and you ain't lying. Like Jay, what you said there, like I say this all the time, like, yo, when you see a girl, you know, out probably from the outside from the gym or going to the shops real quick, and people think the ladies are thinking they're looking bust down. I'm looking at you going like, no, you look beautiful. And I think the reason, the deeper, I was talking to a friend about this, the deeper aspect that people don't really talk about is that's because men ordinarily are also attracted to vulnerability. And so when you're not with the makeup, you haven't got your mask on. Because women start to feel invulnerable too when they got their mask on. So when you haven't got your makeup on, that's at your most vulnerable state. You're in your most natural state. At that point, there is no mask, there is no defense, there is nothing, no guard up. You know what I'm saying? So that's why instinctively, guys will end up moving to a girl in the grocery store, at the gym, whatever, and they'll be like, I wasn't even looking my best. Yeah, no, you was looking your best. You didn't realize that's why we like you the most. Now, you know what I mean? So, I think again, there's a deeper psychological aspect, which is that makeup now has become a mask for a lot of people, and it's a false sense of confidence because in reality, you can't take your makeup off around me. You're telling me that I gotta wait a few days, a few dates, I gotta wait a few months before I give you my full face. That means you're not really that confident. That means that makeup is now your mask. You know what I'm saying to you? So we as men too also are looking at going, then that's not the real you, because I have to wait till you put that mask on before I get the real confident you. Just like when some men are having to drink before they get the confidence. It's like, that's not the real you. That's not real you, because if you have to drink before you can be confident and get to that place, well, that person's also losing out, because they're gonna have to wait to get drink in your system before you to yourself are confident as well. You know. Mm.
Listen, if I gotta wake 2 hours up, 2 hours ahead of time just to put some makeup on, it ain't gonna happen. I'm gonna tell y'all now. The tomboy in me, it just I just can't do it. And listen, as much as I try for photo shoots and all this stuff like that, I'm just not the one for it. That's just me. Now, some of y'all ladies really do look good in makeup. And I'm not saying that y'all don't without it. Some of y'all know how to, some of y'all know how to use it as an enhancement, which is supposed to be. It's supposed to enhance your beauty, not technically mask y'all. But people like me, I'll be looking like a drag queen by the end of it, okay? Because it's a whole nother person and I don't like it. A little eyeliner and some lip gloss, I can do that the most. That's probably the most I can do the best or whatever. Because I have not got to a state where y'all are at, where y'all can make it look natural and like y'all don't have it on. Somebody teach me, please. I'm taking offers. Please teach me. But yeah. Anyway, though, yeah, I think we got down to the gist of it.
I definitely hear that. Sean, any other parting words?
Yeah, no, I think that ultimately the thing, I think the thing that we try to create an understanding of is that the way you feel about yourself should always be positive, no matter what. The conversation is not designed to tear anybody down or make anybody feel less than, but on the other end, we do have to understand that beauty is a visual thing, and it is based on how other people view the person or view people, and that just is what it is. So I think we can acknowledge that, and then also understand, like, hey, what does that mean? And I don't think we should generalize either, like, let's not generalize and avoid that part of the conversation in speaking for a group based on our limited experiences. I can't hear you, coach.
Sorry, my
He
mic
was on
was off.
mute.
Apologies, guys. I was saying that that filters are a big issue too, because they're now becoming a part of this mask, right? See, makeup was not meant to be a daily thing. It was meant to be an enhancer situation. We now have makeup and we have filters. And they're doing a number on people mentally, because what's happening is it's people are searching for perfection. And the reality of the situation, people don't even want perfection in relationship, right? But people are looking to create perfection in their physique um in their what do you call it? Oh, my mic's a bit low. Is it okay? Cool. Hold on. People are looking for the people are looking for um perfection in their situation, and I'm like, yo, there is no perfection in your looks. Like, no one's perfect. Like, it's just a reality of the situation. Nobody's perfect, but these masks that we're creating on a regular basis, of filters and people doing and doing makeup stuff, whatever it is, actually is taking away a lot of people's confidence. Not everyone's, but a lot of people's confidence, because they've put all their confidence in these masks to help filter how they look. And so that's what creates a lot more insecurities in people, because they know they don't look like that on a regular basis, on a day-to-day basis. And that's going to create its own insecurity. So, we're in that generation now where technology can do pretty much anything. And so, you know, I want to encourage people, listen, your natural face is beautiful. Your natural face is beautiful, you know? So, hey, that's what I would say. But all right, listen, our time is up. My 2 hours have gone up, and I've finished. Someone said TikTok glamour filters is scary sorcery. Absolutely. But you know, we appreciate you guys for turning up for the conversation today, and a little bit of a tussle. It's been a good conversation. You know, it's been a little bit of a tussle tonight. I just want to say, for those of you out there, the office is open. Please enter the office. Those of you who know who you are, enter the office. Okay, all right. Sean's office is also open. You know who you are. Open. Enter the office at this point in time. Okay, y'all know my IG already. Enter the office, please. Thank you very much. Those of you in aisle 39, please come to the office. Thank you very much. All right, guys, we appreciate y'all. Oh, what are you gonna say, Jay?
I was just gonna say I'm just a secretary. All I can do is sit here and leave messages. If y'all like, I can't do nothing. I can just give y'all messages, pass the messages. If his office is closed because he's in with another client, just stop by my desk and leave a message, and I'll pass it on. Okay, I got y'all. You too, Sean. I got you too, boo.
That's right. That's right. See,
Thank you,
that's the
Jay.
truth.
That's what makes you so great, you know?
Just there helping us take notes and minutes for the meeting.
She keeps them occupied, you know, while they're in the in the waiting room, you know.
Yeah, I'm just gonna offer the spa water and some cookies. You know what I'm saying? Keep the air conditioning at the nice even tempo. You know, that's all.
We gotta watch you too sometimes, though, Jay, because
Hey man, I'm just saying if
we take too long,
if they give me the eye, that's all I'm saying.
They gonna mess around and find out.
Yep. Mess around and fall into something.
I'll be like, oh, you was here for me. Okay. Well, my office is over this way. I'll just be over here part-time.
That's down the hall.
No, you see our clients.
Well,
clients,
in that case, right this way.
Right. I'm gonna be back. The rest of you ladies, I'll be right back to get y'all in the office. Don't worry.
Not her stealing our clients. I'm going to play the office role. Absolutely shocking. She's going to set up her own practice.
She got a pop-up shop.
Yep. right on our particular grounds as well. Right in front of our office as well. Pop-up shop. Oh, you ain't gotta go in there.
Gigi, don't get mad. I'll be back to help y'all get back in their office. Don't worry. I gotta just take care of this one client over here real quick, you know. I thought they was here for them and they here for me. My bad.
You know what I mean? Listen, you know the office, guys, is open, so you know, shoot me a little message, guys, in the office as well. All right, listen, we're gonna love you and leave you. We're going to be behind the scenes, but we appreciate y'all. Listen, don't do anything I wouldn't do, okay? All right? And we'll see you again very, very soon. Much love, much appreciation.